Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick addendum video to a run-through that I did that, in addition to whatever little goofs I had, maybe had some really big goofs. Big mistakes that I want to make sure everybody's clear on so that they don't learn the game wrong. So, to make right what once went wrong, I'm going to throw it over to Paolo, my rules lawyer, the guy who keeps me honest. Take it away, Paolo.
Hi everybody, today Paolo runs through the major goofs for the Voyages of Marco Polo. In this run through, the major goof that Richard did was regarding the activation of the large city cards, where he applied the general rule for those cards to one specific card that works in a different way. I'm going to explain the general rule and then I'm going to show you what Richard did wrong so you can understand how it really works. Well, the general rule are cards like this one, they are the most common cards in the deck. This type of action requires you to spend the goods placed in this column, and this is the reward you get for spending them. So in this case you would spend 1 camel and 1 gold to get 4 points. And you can do that action as many times as the number of the die you place here. So if you place a die with the number 5 here, you can do that action up to 5 times. So let's say you placed a 5, you can spend up to 5 camels and 5 gold to get 20 points. Of course, if you have less of either of these goods in your supply, you can at most spend what you have. So if you have, let's say, 3 camels and 5 golds, you can only spend 3 camels and 3 gold to get 12 points. This is how the majority of the cards in the deck work, but there are some exceptions when one of those was in the game, and it was this one. In this case, you don't have to spend the goods because there are no goods. What it is here is the symbol for completed contracts, and those contracts you don't spend them, you just have to have them. So the action here is if you have 1 completed contract, you score 1 point. So what Richard did was the number of the die he placed here, he was multiplying for the number of completed contracts he had, and that scored him a lot of points. He was doing, let's say, if he placed a die with the number 3 here and he had 7 completed contracts, he was multiplying 7 by 3 and getting 21 points. That's not how this works. The way this card works is you have the completed contracts. Let's say you place the die with the number 5 here. So if you have at least 5 contracts completed, you will score 5 points. Let's say you have 7 contracts completed and you place a die with the number 5 here, you will score 5 points. If you place a die with the number 5 and you have 3 completed contracts, you will score 3 points because you only score each contract once. So this card at most will score you 6 points if you have 6 contracts completed or more. It works in a completely different way as Richard was doing in the video. There are other cards that works similarly, like this one. It's the same thing but for money. Instead of getting 1 point for each contract you have completed, you get 2 coins up to the number of the dice you place here. So let's say you have 6 contracts completed and you place a die with the number 5 here, you will activate this action 5 times, so you will get 10 money because you have 6 contracts. That's more than the number of the die you placed here, that was a 5. In the same way, you have these cards that will score you points for the number of trading posts you have already placed on the board by traveling. So if you place a die with the number 5 here and you have at least 5 trading posts already placed on the board, you will score 5 points. There's another card exactly like for the completed contracts that will give you the same thing but for money. That will score you 2 money for each of the trading houses you placed already on the board. So this was what Richard did wrong in the video. I hope I was clear on explaining it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try to explain it better if I can. Thank you for your attention. Hope I was useful. Bye bye.